Calder was born 2018, beginning of November 2018, and he was just one of the ones out of his litter. He was gorgeous from like the beginning. When he was born, we were like, he looks like his dad. Like, he's just beautiful. I thought he was the cutest puppy there. He had his weird like lanky stage that they all do, but he kept filling out and he looked great. He was always goofy and super strange and sometimes annoying, as puppies are. And we all were like, his name was Andy, so we were like, okay, Andy. And then I kind of stay out of a lot of business things until Charlie comes to me for them. And so I was kind of caught off guard. He was like, yeah, talk to the checkers. Like, we're gonna do sort of like a team dog kind of thing. I was like, sweet, awesome. I like hockey. I'm totally into this.
He was just one of our typical puppies, you know, confident. I remember when the first time we brought them out on the ice, they were maybe 2 months old. And we brought the whole litter, and Calder was one of the ones who kind of ran around more. You know, you could see which dog or which puppy seems the most confident. And so that was one of the reasons why we picked him.
We kind of were like, yep, this is the dog. He was super smart. He was learning the coolest things. He could turn on a light switch when he was like a couple months old, opening doors, like retrieving things. He was so smart, so ready to learn, very loyal, food-motivated, people-friendly. He just loved everybody, and that's exactly what we were looking for for a dog for the checkers.
He was in the locker room. We took shots of him like walking as a baby, walking into like a goalie helmet, walking through like a pair of pants. We have a great picture of him on the logo. We have pictures of him with Chubby. So yeah, he's a hockey dog through and through. As a matter of fact, ESPN had him on the play of the day twice. I think once it was just the play of the day, and it was former player Nick Waugh hitting a puck and Calder going to get it and bring it back. And then the other time was when the checkers were practicing at the Extreme Ice Center, and I was on the Zamboni. I'd never been on a Zamboni, so I asked the guy, hey, can I come? And he said, sure, and bring the dog. And so ESPN grabbed that, and that was like top 10 of the pet plays of the year on ESPN. So he's famous. At about 8 to 10 months of age, we started to realize he had what looked like a bite or a puncture wound. And so we took care of it, you know, put peroxide on it, put ointment on it, wrapped it, and he was fine. The injury kind of went away. And then a few weeks later, he's limping again. And so we took him to the vet, and we ended up needing to do an x-ray, and found out that he had an infection in his toe bone. The only way to eradicate the infection was to remove the toe. And so we had the toe taken off, and if you watch him now, he's no worse for it. He's just a normal dog, as the vet told us he would be, and he plays normally, and he does everything just as well as any other dog.
It fits his personality too, I think. He's so weird and goofy, and now you got a dog with one less toe than everybody else. It would be Calder. Calder would be the dog to have one less toe than everybody else.
Carson was baby number 1, and we were absolutely thrilled about this newborn that we were going to be having. We didn't know if it was a boy or girl, and he was late actually, and on the way to the hospital we get into the car, and it was very early in the morning, and on the radio is playing Wild Thing. My husband and I both looked at each other and went, oh no, this is any indication of what's to come, we're in trouble. It was like 70 degrees on that February 10th, and by that afternoon it was snowing. So it started off with a bang.
My name is Carson Clough. I'm a Charlotte native, and I am 26 years old. Born and raised in Charlotte, and I have always been super close with my family. I got younger brother, younger sister, just all around had family support from day one, and pretty awesome, normal upbringing. just in Charlotte. We would travel a lot for whether it was my sports or my brothers or my sisters. Virginia Beach, whenever we weren't playing sports in the summer, we'd spend time in Virginia Beach with my grandparents.
The downtime, the happy spot was in Virginia Beach, and they could all surf there. That's where we could kind of chill out and do our own thing, not have to be anywhere. But once again, they're in the water, surfing and all the water sports that you can imagine.
So one thing, a lot of people may not know about me is I used to play hockey for the Charlotte Junior Checkers when I was little. It was one of my first sports. Used to play every day, all year round. Used to travel, Greenville, Florida, even up north to Maryland, and played with the Charlotte Junior Checkers probably till I was in 7th grade. But I still got the jerseys, number 77, smallest kid on the ice, and threw the most punches. And no, not really at all.
It was exciting because we'd get there, we were bundled up, we could watch him play, watch his friends play, and it was just actually exciting. I mean, there was one weekend he had a basketball game here in Charlotte. We drove right after the game to Raleigh to a hockey game, and that afternoon he was in a different town playing soccer, and then we had to turn right around and go back to Fayetteville to play hockey again, and they were early morning, like 6, 7 a.m. games. So it was a constant flow for him, and he would get in the car fast asleep, and he was raring to go for the next game. He's got the energy.
My husband and I and my kids have been friends with the Cloughs since Jack and Carson were 3 years old playing soccer together. Carson is full of energy, as you probably have noticed. He was the one that most coaches would call scrappy. My husband was one of his coaches too, and John always said if it took someone just squirming in between all the big players and getting the job done on the ice, it was going to be Carson. He was the same way on the lacrosse field. But he's a fun-loving kid, and he's so great, and we're very fortunate to know the Cloughs and to have been friends with them for such a long time.
Life prior to my accident was just pretty normal, I would say. I definitely was always into something, whether I was traveling or finding odd jobs to do work. I went to undergrad and then grad back to back, but in grad in Florida, and seeing if I found something that I liked along the way.
Behind me, the Iredell County Sheriff's Office is here, along with North Carolina Animal Wildlife. They will be taking over the investigation, and right now they are talking with neighbors, trying to figure out more about what happened. But tonight we do know that man is alert and aware. He was pulled out of the water. Again, that rescue happened down on Lake Norman. It's back there in the darkness past the trees and the cars. So that is where the rescue happened. That man was pulled onto the dock, and again, since has been taken to the
My husband got the phone call, and it was the deputy sheriff from the lake calls to say our son was being airlifted to the hospital. He had been in a boating accident, and that's all we knew. And so my husband left at that moment to go up to the lake, and I stayed back here in Charlotte because we thought if he's being airlifted, surely he's coming to Charlotte from Lake Norman. And I called the person back, and they still didn't know, and I called hospitals up there, and I finally called here at CMC, and they said, yes, he's on his way. And I said, okay, I am too. It was a very surreal time because I wasn't sure what I was going to see. I didn't know anything. And he was laying on the gurney and lifted his head and goes, Mom, I'm going to be fine. I am good. And I walked up to everything was covered in a sheet, and I walked up to him and I said, yes, you are, because you're talking to me.
After the accident, initial goal is walk. At that point I was in a wheelchair, and people were treating me normally because that's how we were gonna do it. I'd spend time at the doctor's, and again, I had family there, friends, people there all the time just helping. So it was pretty easy for me because I had so much support that it was like you can't really look anywhere but forward. And you know, each day that you push yourself a little bit more, it just gets easier and easier. You just need to chill out. Aren't you excited? Mm. What, are you gonna go chase the pucks? Are you gonna chase the pucks? Are you excited? Are you excited? Me and my brother and sister probably last laced up the skates 2 years ago. We always go kind of around Christmas break. Whenever we were home or had off, sit. I know you're excited, stay. But I didn't get a chance to go last year because I was still learning to walk. And so we're getting after it. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know who's more excited, me or Calder. I'm better at controlling my excitement. Come on, let's go. Whew. All right, here we go, Calder. Oh, look at you. It almost got me. My surgeon, one of the first prescriptions he wrote me was a service dog. My parents approached me about it, and I was like, I do not want a dog. I don't, I love dogs. I grew up with dogs, and I'm starting a business, gotta learn to walk again. And then my old hockey coach's wife, when I used to play for the Charlotte Junior Checkers, called me one day and she's like, hey, there's this organization called Project to Heal, and the Charlotte Checkers are working with them, and they're gonna donate a dog to someone, and I think you should look into that.
We all have down days, and it would hit him every now and then. I just knew in my heart that it would. We're all human, that happens. So I thought he's got to have that pal with him to be able to just give him that lift that he needs when family and friends aren't necessarily around. So I just kept pursuing it with him. And
she was like, well, it's a really great story because you used to play for the Charlotte Junior Checkers, and then you had to get a leg amputation, and Calder got his toe amputated a month before. And so I was like, all right, we'll go check out the dog. I wheeled in there, and the first dog that runs up to me was Calder, and he had a Heineken Chewy toy in his mouth. And I was like, oh boy, this is not good.
Young man, young dog, a lot of energy. Carson's got a lot of energy, and he intends to take Calder with him wherever he goes, which is what a service dog can do. And he can help him with different things like getting up, bringing him his prosthetic, getting stuff, even like out of the refrigerator for him, stuff like that. Everything we see or hear when they're together, it just works. It's just a great pair.
I really am just so happy for Carson and for Calder that it worked out, and now for the Checkers too, and Project to Heal, that all of it's perfect synergy with all those factors coming together, all those great groups, all those great people coming together and making this happen for somebody that's really, really special to me and to my family.
It's going to be really tough to see Calder leave and do good things, but we know he'll be awesome. He's going to do so much better than he would ever do here. He's going to have a great partnership with Carson, but we'll definitely be able to see him at Checkers games. We'll go visit him as much as we can, and so we're very excited. It's going to be tough, but it'll be bittersweet. We'll miss him, but it'll be great.
I am thrilled that those two came together. I mean, it was just in the craziest roundabout way, but it is the most, they both have amputations, and Carson chuckles when he talks about it, but it is kind of cute. And when we were walking on the beach, I think one of the more beautiful footprints is to see Calder's footprint in the sand, and to see that little something that's missing, but you know, that's all that's missing.
Life going forward, it's always going to be interesting. There will probably be a lot more downs and things like that, but if you just if you can get shoved down and then get back up, that's an adrenaline rush. And I can't really be negative about many things. I got an awesome life because of everyone around me, and having Calder now, plus other people I've met because of this new adventure I'm on. Definitely excited for that day where he's officially mine. I can't keep saying his name because he gets all excited. And can't thank Project to Heal, the Checkers, Emma, Charlie, the whole organization enough, because it'd be super tough not to have something like Calder to look forward to.